soon. Yeah, I took some time. What I do, I ate and did some other stuff, cleaned up, and spoke with my wife. So she's going to help me moderate this, just because I predict there to be a lot of trolls. Obviously, we all heard of the news earlier, and that's why I did a live earlier when I got the breaking news um, that someone made an assassination attempt against Donald Trump. Having said that, we already got we already did that live stream, so this isn't what this is about. However, if people want to talk about it, that's fine. This is going to be the Saturday edition of Ask Me Anything. Guys, that I like to do this like usually once a week, and I haven't done it all week. So this being the last day of the week, let's get it in. All right. Um, Mrs. Contrarian will be here moderating. What's up, Mahal? So just be forewarned that she doesn't play games, so she'll kick you out quicker than I will. I'll let you get one or two snipes in before I push you out, but she doesn't play. So just be forewarned that Mrs. Contrarian is in the chat room. She will be moderating, and she will kick out people who act stupidly, rather. So again, like I said, I talked about the Trump situation earlier, so I'm pretty sure people are going to bring that up. That's fine. And again, it's fine if we disagree, but you can disagree with someone without being an a-hole. So keep that in mind. All right. Um, Also, if I do, I might end up leaving because I was supposed to do a late night training sesh, but haven't heard back from my homeboy yet, so may not be doing that training sesh. I told him at least by no later than 10, and we're 10 minutes from that time here on Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, guys. So I'm just trying to get the pulse again. You know, as I always say in every chat room, if there's no repartee, then I'll just end it early. That's fine. By the way, Mrs. Contrarian is here, so she can answer some questions as well. We just put up a video of her traveling, and I'm about to put up another one of her as well. The only reason I haven't already done so is um, that I had to we had to edit it because I was having a copyright issue with it. But I'm about to put up another one. I hope some of you enjoyed seeing her. Like she, you can see like all of her in this, like her whole face and all of that. I'm wondering if you guys caught who she is because there was several women in the video, so I wondering if y'all realized who it was. If you watch some of my other videos with her in it, then you know which exactly one she was. Spoiler alert: she's the prettiest one. But yeah. So I'm going to actually load this other video as we talk. Carl says, "Hi, bro. How are you doing?" I'm doing well, Carl. Thanks, man. So like I was telling people just coming into the chat that this is a thing I do once a week, which is you can like basically ask me any sort of questions, as long as they're appropriate, of course. Just because every week people like to ask me random things, so I just actually set aside an entire live stream where people can just ask me anything. That's the gist of it, guys. All right. Actually, no, I'm not going to load that other video till after I'm done with this. Then I'll load that video because I have it on my other phone, so it'll be easier to do it that way. Um, so what's up, Borcho? So like I said, I'm pretty sure everyone's caught up on the news. it's hard not to because it's almost on every platform, as it should be. We haven't had like a serious assassination attempt in the last 40 years. We're coming up on a lot of 40-year increments here. 40 years of a lot of things happened around 84. Although I think the assassination attempt happened to Reagan before 84. I think it was like 81 to 82. You said you have to try and think of a question. Well, if you look at I don't know if you've seen the description of my channel. So basically, anything is fair game that that people know that I talk about often in other live streams. So I'm a nerdy guy, so I will often talking about things like science and philosophy, but I also talk about things like superheroes and comic books and sci-fi and Star Wars, or I'll just talk about current events and a lot of um, things going on in government and politics. So those sort of things. Virtually, you are going on a whole left field. You said, should we just leave excise tax or embrace negative income tax? You're gonna have to put that in more context. And mind you, I'm not an economist. Okay, I don't have any insider information on you know the way the country's running our finances and stuff. So don't expect any um, good answers to things like that outside of my periphery of knowledge, which is very small on certain things. I don't do shout outs unless you drop a cash app. I'm done with that. The only person I'll do only time I'll do shout outs to people are people who've been rocking with me in my live streams and watching my videos for a long time, so I know them and I trust them. I'm not going to give random shout outs to people. People think this people think they're funny, thinking I'm going to shout out some sort of random name as if I did as if I haven't watched the Simpsons since 1989, knowing that Bart will call in to Moe's Tavern and try to get him to say something inappropriate. That's not going to happen. I've been watching The Simpsons for 89. So for you Gen Z people trying to do that shit, um, call call waiting. Oh no, I'm sorry for you guys. Oh, here it is coming through Instagram. Yeah, this we've been doing this since 1989. So yeah, next. Zubair says I got a good relevant question for you. What do you think about Scott Ritter? You follow him or not? I don't follow him. Don't even know who that is. Actually, I'm sorry. Zubair says no. It's not just a shout out. People try to set you up. You don't know Zubair. Like people will try to have you shout out random stuff to be funny. I'm hip to it. And again, like I said, I've been literally seeing that on The Simpsons since 1989, so it doesn't work on me. Like for instance, like I think the first one that Bart did on The Simpsons was he called into Moe's Tavern. He said, I'm trying to find Butts Seymour, and Mo was like, hold on just a second. Hey guys, looking for Seymour Butts. Seymour Butts is there Seymour Butts in the tavern, and they just all broke out laughing. I mean, so any all of us from Gen X, we're hip to all of these things. Everything Generation Z tries to do, we've been doing a long time ago. Like I don't know why they think they've invented something new, but us kind of reflects the fact that Gen Z has a lower IQ than we do. Generally speaking, like average IQ has gone down in the past 30 years because of something called the reverse Flynn effect, and it's kind of showing up in pop culture as predicted by the movie Idiocracy back in 2005. Emmanuel ever says hi, sir. What's up, Emmanuel? I know. I remember we talked about. You said that the last time. I remember. I remember the McDrive thing. Lucky Me says we never ate Tide Pods. You're damn right. I mean, Gen X, we did do dumb stuff though. That's like those the little bike ramp stuff. I'm pretty sure someone broke a leg or a neck doing them little crazy ass bike ramps, and we didn't wear helmets or elbow pads and knee pads. We thought everyone that was doing that was like punks, right? I had a dirt bike. I rode from the time I was what 6 to like I was 13. Never wore a helmet. Of course, I only fell like twice though. Mm, yeah, like twice, 3 times if you count someone else's bike, but that's it. And again, guys, if you come in here trolling, just know that my wife, Mrs. Contrarian, is moderating, so she's going to ban you instantly. So, Carl says, I grew up watching The Simpsons. Brilliant, right? Simpsons is still one of my favorite shows. Although I don't like how they turned Homer into like a straight up jerk to to try to match. Basically, they tried to make him a version of Peter Griffin, whereas Peter Griffin was originally supposed to be a more extreme version of Homer, and both of them hark back to Fred Flintstone, which is the inspiration for all of those father figures in these cartoons, who he himself harks back to the Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason playing what was the guy's name? Was it Ralph Crampton or was that the friend of him? But anyway, Honeymooners birthed the Flintstones, which the Flintstones then birthed all these other cartoon characters. So. Portugal Side says, "Why heroes die young?" You're just asking. When I say you can ask me anything, I don't mean like. So you can ask random questions, but they should be coherent. Like you ask one question about economics, then you jump to why heroes die young. That's kind of you're kind of scattershot all over the place. But generally, why heroes die young, at least if you're talking from a literature standpoint, is that there's something going back to ancient Greek storytelling, which is the hero's journey, and it kind of that's sort of the platform from which all other heroes have like hero stories have come. So if you know the whole hero's journey of the people like Achilles and Heracles and Theseus and Pericles and Odysseus and all these other characters, they all follow that sort of same hero's trajectory of overcoming adversity and making the ultimate sacrifice, but in doing so, incurring victory. So it's a common trope that stems back to ancient Greece. Joshua says that's where Crocs came from. You talking about the shoes? Angel says hi. What's up, Angel Sotomayor? Carl says I used to build tree houses and spend time outside, not staring at my phone. So I'm envious of you. I've always wanted a tree house, and I didn't. So if I get the chance, I would definitely make my kid one. Although, well, actually, I'm not sure how we would do it in my the current place where my wife and I have a home because I don't think there are any big trees there. Right, Mahal. Like I don't think there's any big trees out there. Subear says me too. Those were the good old days playing hide and seek in the dark. I thought you said something else at first. I'm sorry. That's my dirty mind. Never mind. Boy Show says I learned English thanks to Simpsons and improved with South Park. Yeah, those aren't the best places to learn like standard American English since most of the characters don't speak very articulately, other than a few of them like Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons and on South Park. Is there anyone that speaks eloquently? I don't believe so. Carl says, good old days. Yeah, man, I'm envious of you having a treehouse. I really wanted one. Um, Here's a funny thing though. Like when I went to West Virginia, they actually do build houses on trees, like not in the in the tree like branches, but rather they will like these large trees. They kind of just chop off the main part, and the house is built onto the stump of the tree. I haven't seen that in a long time since I haven't been in West Virginia since the 90s. I don't believe. If I have been there since the 90s, it's probably just a drive through. But that's where my stepfather's family was from, and we would visit his mom out there. And she lived in the boonies, and there was these houses built on tree stumps. I'm like, wow. I was like, dang, these are like true tree houses. Yes, fan adder, we know Trump got shot. That's what I was mentioning earlier, and I actually did a whole live stream about 2 hours ago, just talking about my shock in that whole situation. It looked like it just grazed him, and I kind of made a joke on my personal Facebook. I was like, the person was like a liberal or progressive who tried to shoot him because they don't have any aim and can't shoot. Oh, and ball. So the Jackie Gleason character is Ralph, right? Thank you. Carl says, Borchel Silas, not all heroes die young. Look at the war heroes, live long and prosper. Yeah, so Carl, I didn't know if he was talking about heroes in real life or heroes in literature, but definitely heroes in real life don't die young. We have a bunch of war heroes right now. There was just a guy now who was awarded for I think a Medal of Honor. He was a former National Guardsman who served in Iraq, in an Iraqi war 20 years ago. That just received a medal. Not all heroes die in real life. Most heroes don't die young. They go on to do more heroic feats, or they go on to just live more more quotidian lives, I guess. So, which is nothing wrong with that. If you can live long enough to transition from being a hero to just having a quotidian sort of lifestyle, kudos. Not everyone wants to be James Dean. Mr. Bear says you're smart. I like that. I will thank you. Much respect to you as well for saying that. I don't believe I'm that smart. I just remember things and can feed it back to people. Carl said you just seem like an intelligent man. I just made thank you, Carl. For some reason, I thought that we've like spoken before in a live stream, but maybe we didn't. I mean, because we were vibing, so I assumed like we've actually spoken on one of these lives previously. Uh-oh, Mr. Syed just brought up the most controversial. Mr. Syed 007 just brought up the most controversial thing in the world. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to get your opinion on this because I'm obviously biased. I'm from the east. I'm from the Northeast. So for me, pineapples does not belong on pizza. I am sorry. However, I'll order it the way you want it. Like for instance, in the Philippines, when my wife's one of her best friends, and Mahal, you remember this, when we went to her birthday party, and so I ordered them pizza. So I did order them like a Hawaiian pizza, but I ordered some regular stuff. I forgot how many pizzas we ordered, Mahal. I think it was like three. Was it like three pizzas? And did we also order the donuts? I can't remember, but I know we ordered like a few pizzas. I ordered like a regular one. Well, what I consider regular was like sausage and pepperoni, and then I ordered a Hawaiian pizza because I knew a lot of you and your friends like Hawaiian pizza, but I don't rock with it. Now, here's the thing though, pineapple pizza isn't the most abominable pizza to me. Seafood pizza is the most abominable to me. When I was little, every like summer, my father would take us down to Virginia Beach for a vacation for like about a week, and he would take us to these restaurants, and he loves seafood, but he would order seafood pizza, and my sisters and I are like, ew, what the hell is that? Nobody, we don't want like crab meat and all that sort of ish on some pizza. I'm like, what the hell? To me, see, if you want to eat pineapple on your pizza, fine, that's good. But I'm not. Don't offer it to me. But seafood pizza is the worst abomination. Excuse me, the worst abomination to me when it comes to pizza. Like some people hate Chicago style, some people hate Hawaiian style pizza with the pineapples. Um, to me, seafood pizza is the worst abomination ever to be called pizza, hands down. So, you guys tell me what you think is the worst pizza, and whether you think pineapple belongs to pizza. For me, it doesn't, but I'm not gonna throw a tantrum over it. But if you try to put seafood on my pizza, then we're gonna fight. Okay. Zubair says, "Hell no! Don't ever say that again. Disrespecting pizza like that." And Ball says, "Plant a tree." So we have planted trees on the property, but like trees are gonna take like it's gonna take a human lifetime to get to where you want it. Like you're talking at the minimum 50 years. We would not. Our children won't won't be children when the tree is grown to even support them. You were talking about like at least, like I said, it takes at least 50 years for depending on the species of tree, and usually the ones that grow big enough to support like a tree house, like a big oak tree or something like that. Like I said, you're talking about 50 to 100 years. There's no way that's feasible to plant a tree. What you would be better off doing if you have the money and the means would to actually just like um, bring in a grown tree onto the property, but that would be I think that would be very costly, and assuming you have the property space for that. I don't know what our I don't know how many square feet the property is. Zubair, I told you my wife is real. You guys don't be believing me. Just like people didn't believe I worked out, and then they saw me yesterday in a wife beater, or I shouldn't say wife beater with my wife with a tank top. But yeah, I was wearing a tank top, and people was like, "Oh, you're actually like muscular," and I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why do?" I guess people thought I was lying when I say I literally work out every day. Like I said, working out is my antidepressant. So I don't know. So I don't lie about stuff. James Watts says, "Bro, you crazy? That shit don't happen. No houses built on the stumps." James, go Google it on West Virginia. I'm not making this stuff up. I remember when you see like if you see something weird, right? You're gonna remember it, right? So that's what happened. I'm in West Virginia, and there are houses built on these tree stumps. I'm not making that up. Now, are they still there? I don't know because like again, I haven't visited West Virginia since the 90s, but I'm pretty sure some of them are still there. It's not, I mean, that's not that astounding to me. Well, at least not now. But yeah, that was a curious observation then, because I remarked it to I think to my mom. I was like, those trees." I said, "Those houses are on trees." And she was just like, "Yeah." I mean, then you like look at the landscape. Like a lot of these Like a lot of these houses are built right into these mountains. So it's old school Appalachia. Zubair says, Trump is gonna milk this out for centuries to come. Well, I mean, he who you don't think to let's let's invoke the fairness maxim here. And invoking this fairness maxim, let's just say this if this happened to Biden, they will milk it to the T, right? Because they would be saying, "Oh, look at all of these fringe right extremists. See, they tried to take out the president, yada yada yada." So absolutely, Trump should milk it because you absolutely believe. I mean, you absolutely better bet that Biden and the Democrats and all of them would have milked it. If it happened to Biden, he would have won the election because they didn't like see all our worst fears were realized. He's going to destroy democracy. We have to all vote for Biden. If it happened to Biden, they would have milked it for everything it's worth, and they would have used it to sail on to him getting reelected. So yes, Trump should milk it because especially one of the reasons he should milk it is the fact that people always attack the right for being the violent extremists. But as I was telling a friend earlier, and as I was saying in my earlier live stream, violent extremists exist on both sides of the political spectrum, but a lot of people just don't aren't willing to believe that. So yeah, he should milk it. I mean, and like my friend was saying, he was like, "I'm just waiting for the memes," and I was like, "Dude, you don't have to wait long." I said, "Because 50 Cent is on Instagram already making memes. So if you guys want to already see some funny memes, go to the 50 Cent's Instagram page. He's already got memes going." And I know there's gonna be some comparisons to Trump being a black man because I mean at this point he is kind of living like a dude from the inner city, man. He got convicted of felonies. He's getting shot at. Uh, he's stepping out on his wife with baddies. Uh, he has his own. He got some gold sneakers. I mean, like I said, until he ran for office, rappers and people in the hip hop world loved him. I mean, look how closely he's living to their lifestyle. And Ball says it hit the top of the ear. Yeah, you can see it grazed him. I don't know if it grazed his ear or grazed his temple, but you can see it grazed him. And I don't know how true it is or not, but Dennis Sperling reported on his Facebook page about an hour or so ago that they took down the shooter. So we'll definitely hear about it later if they got the shooter and whom the shooter is. Guaranteed it's someone on the left because again, like I said, people on the left don't know how to shoot and aim. Person on the right would have did the deed. Carl says my grandfather lived till 102 years old. He was in World War. Wow, he was in World War One. He was a beautiful person with a heart of gold. Well, first of all, shout out to your grandfather for being a World War One hero and for being a centenarian. A lot of us don't make it there, and like one once you hit like the 80s to 90s is is basically is basically just a combination of genetics and chance that you become a centenarian and not past like your 80s and 90s. Like up until that point is based on like things like yes your genetics, your health, and your general health, your level of fitness, the environment in which you live, all that sort of stuff. But beyond like that, just becomes kind of random chance how far you live from that point on. Guys, I told you Mrs. Contrarian wasn't playing. She already banned some folks. Carl says pineapple needs to stay away from my pizza. Man, you singing to the choir. Like I said, pineapple will never touch my pizza. But however, seafood needs to get the F away too. I do not want crab meat and lobster meat and shrimp on my pizza. That's just disgusting to me. But speaking of seafood and stuff being nasty, because I have a bias. I just don't like seafood other than like you know, fin fish, like scaly and fin fish. Like that's the only type of seafood I eat. But I don't eat like calamari, and I won't eat uh, shellfish. But I definitely don't want any sort of calamari or shellfish on my pizza, nor even regular fish like like anchovies or whatever. I don't want any of that on my pizza. I just don't think seafood mixes with pizza. However, there is a lot of Italian pizza, like actually in Italy, where they do put seafood on pizzas. So I'm not going to claim that that's not real pizza because they in Italy themselves they do eat seafood on their pizza. But I'm not having any of it. It has to be red meat, just pork and beef, no diddy, on my pizza. um, and then I'm partial to New York style like thin crust pizza. Shout out to Lido Pizza. And I'm saying shout out to Lido Pizza. They should definitely give me a free $100 gift card for saying shout out to Lido Pizza. They're only here in the Maryland DMV area, but delicious. But yeah, I'm partial to the thin crust style, thin crust New York style or Chicago deep dish, even Detroit style. I thought Detroit style was just like a rip off of Chicago style, but it's actually a little bit different than Chicago style pizza. Mr. Side 007 says I'm Italian. Agree, pineapple doesn't come near my pizza. Word. That's some Hawaiian West Coast type stuff. We bang on the East here. Zubair says pizza tuna is great. Pizza tuna? What's a pizza tuna? You mean tuna on the pizza, or do you mean I don't know what you mean. I don't know if you mean like tuna on the pizza or something else. One thing I did find delicious was spinach pizza, where it's like spinach is put as one of the toppings on pizza. I haven't had that in a long time, but that was actually pretty tasty. I know some people be like, ugh, spinach. But it was like, it was just like a topping. Like, if you have like other vegetable toppings, it was like spinach was one of the vegetable toppings. That was actually kind of tasty. So Bear says, oh yeah, I don't like that mixed stuff either. Mr. Side Devil says this pickloroni pizza was the worst out. Ew, pickloroni pizza. You mean like they had like pickles all over the pizza? Ew. Yeah, I don't think that would be good. Now, if you had like a dill pickle or something on the side with the pizza, I'm sure that would be okay. But on the pizza, I don't think that will work well. Pepper and balls is pepperoni's biggest seller. Yeah, it's like I think that's the at least that's the most traditional style American pizza is pepperoni pizza. Like it's like you really just can't go wrong with it. Like unless someone doesn't eat meat or eat pork, pepperoni is always pretty much the way to go. Crosses pepperoni, jalapenos, and sausage for me. Okay, I can rock with that. Mr. Side 007 says I like old world pepperoni, the kind that cup, um, and onions, banana peppers. So now I'm starting to get hungry, guys. I'm starting to get now I'm starting to get hungry. There's a Lido Pizza near me, but it's it's not. So since I'm in a different place now, it's not near me. Like the other place that I stay at with my sister, like it's actually within walking distance. I can literally just walk up there. But here, I will actually have to drive or just get a takeout. I mean, delivery. I mean, and boss is plant a tree for the next generation. So they already no. So my family already did plant a tree though. They did actually already plant a tree. Because I was telling my wife, I was like, yeah, plant a tree for like, um, um, I don't know if it was for Arbor Day or for um, what is it? Earth Day. Yeah, I was like one of those kids like back when Earth Day was a big thing in like my science classes, and they would give us those little tree saplings to plant. Yeah, I was always into that. But no, the family did already actually plant some trees in on our property. So hopefully they will be around for the next generations to come. I'm a I'm a tree lover. Well, I shouldn't say because that might come out wrong. I like trees. Miss Nia says, "Hello, Mrs. Contrarian. So good you finally are a mod. Your husband has been nonstop talking about you." That's true. Carl says, "This famous actor you look like, but I can't think of his name. I'm going to go and find out." Please don't say Don Cheadle, because I really don't think I look like that man. He has a more broad forehead. He's like almost 20 years older than me, and he has a wide nose. I don't think we look alike, but I get those comparisons. Emboss is 10 years can grow a huge tree. It depends on the species, though. It even in, like it now. Don't get me wrong. A tree can grow tall within 10 years. I was just saying within 10 years it wouldn't be a large enough stature to support having a tree house for a kid. Like I said, the smaller trees pretty would grow within that time frame, but those smaller trees aren't sturdy enough to support a treehouse. The ones that are big enough to support a treehouse, your typical old fashioned oak tree, or like a big redwood or something like that. Those those take like half a century or more to sprout to the point where you can actually support a treehouse in them. Now, something else we could do is I remember this one church we went to as a kid. We actually made birdhouses. So I did that once. I made a birdhouse and I stuck it in the local tree where we were living back in Chicago many eons ago. Probably like shoot, that might be like 30, that might be like 39, 40 years ago actually when I like hung out. I made this birdhouse at my church. It's called Pilgrimage Church. Like at Bible study class, we used to do like nice little stuff for kids. I miss going there as a pair compared to this other church. My parents took me some Black Baptist church, which was completely boring and far from where we live, which made it worse. So this other church was better, at least for me as a kid. And like I said, we got to do cool stuff like make. I know another thing we made was I think like a plastic ashtray or plastic ashtray or something like that, which wouldn't have been inappropriate for kids in the '80s to make an ashtray for their parents, especially as my stepfather smoked like a chimney. Unfortunately, that caught up with him and he died of emphysema back in '96. But yeah, I mean, we built stuff like birdhouses and ashtrays and all sorts of stuff like that. Choose a fast growing species. So we did already plant something though. Um, my sisters, I think it was my sisters in law. They planted a tree on our property because all my in laws live with us in my place in the Philippines. So extended family. So they actually planted some stuff, and I think I actually told my wife that we should plant something else. I think I told her that. Sabir says, "You talking about the actor from Iron Man 2, Carl? He may not be. Not everyone thinks I look like Don Cheadle Zubair." It says, "In ball, yes, it needs the right grounds and nutrients." Yeah, that's another problem. Is a lot of people during Earth Day or Arbor Day will plant tree samplings, but they just let it. They don't take care of it. They don't know that actively you actively have to do maintenance to make sure that this tree grows. Like one with the sapling, you should put up some sort of I forgot what you put that little support structure up to keep it upright. And yeah, you should put it in a nutrient rich soil, and you may have to water it and do other sort of things to tender for the tree saplings to ensure that they grow. But most people would just put those things in the ground and then just forget about them, and a lot of them never actually grow to be full grown trees. And both says plant bamboo for building materials. So you don't want to plant bamboo because they can actually sprout and just go get out of control. That's one of the dangers of actually planting bamboo. You can plant bamboo and it will just sprout up everywhere. Like you may not like it. It can actually become invasive. Bamboo can actually be invasive. So you have to be careful with planting bamboo. Joanna says someone tried to assassinate Trump at a rally today held in PA. Yep, we are all familiar with that. And I actually did a live stream about 2 to 3 hours ago about that, Joanna. If you want to check that out. Ms. Contrarian Cower is saying some stupid stuff. Um, Edging is a just another way of talking about self gratifying yourself. He's obviously a troll. Zubair says I don't know his name. I think his superhero name was War Machine or something. I don't look like him. Please stop it. I actually have put in my comment thing, not my comments, but I've started banning certain words so that people just can't use them. And boss says MSNBC types create the overblown craziness. That's true. Mr. Contreras says, Emball, my mountaineering nonprofit group does plant trees here in the Philippines. We help with restoration programs. Yeah, like guys, I have videos of her up with her travel group called at. Well, that's what I call it for short, but it's the I don't know how to pronounce it right. Mahal Akyat um, travel and adventuring team. But yeah, she does this stuff. I've literally just put up a new video yesterday, and I'm about to put up another one of her today at the same place with them actually going out to a school and giving out supplies to these kids in this rural province. I'm gonna do that after this live stream ends while I'm going to eat some food. Not eating food today, guys. Miss Needle. This because you said that's a muck. That's actually called mukbang videos. So I was just doing that for those 3 days, but I'm not going to do it today. So I can like, when I'm hungry, I want to just be savage, and I don't want to be polite with how I eat. So I feel like being a little savage with my food, and I'm not going to eat in front of the camera like I did yesterday and the previous 2 days. My wife missed that. Miss Nita says, Mrs. Contrarian, that's so great. David Beck says, nah, bro, hope I'm out at 80. You say that now. Once you reach 80, you're going to be thinking a different way. There's a whole movie, like, there's a couple of movies on that. Um, Not at 80, but at younger ages. Like, 80 sounds old until you hit 80. Watch the movie, a classic movie, a sci-fi movie called Logan's Run. You might have a different tune about that, where basically all adults are killed killed once they reach the age of 30 in their society. Yeah, it's a little creepy. Um, Now I know you could say at 80, well, not everyone reaches 80. That's true, but not everyone reaches 30 either. But that doesn't mean that once you hit 30, you want to just end everything, right? So, no, if you can reach 80 and you're still lucid, see, I think what you're thinking is at 80, you're going to face cognitive decline. So here's the thing. In developmental psychology, cognitive development never actually stops. You just reach cognitive maturity once you hit the age of like about 25. But cognitive development doesn't stop. It may start to decline, but there are many elderly people who are very lucid people. Thomas Sowell is one. He's 93 years old. He just wrote a recent book 3 years ago when he was 90. There are many people, especially in philosophy, who are like steeped in like logic and mathematics. They tend to be very old. I think it may have something to do with probably doing all that sort of logic stuff in their later years that keeps their mind sharp. But a lot of these people died in their 90s and hundreds, like people like Willard Van Orman Quine and Bertrand Russell, and a lot of these other people who lived well into the 80s, 90s, hundreds. One of my professors, I found out 3 days ago, passed away back in 2020. I was sad because he was one of my first philosophy professors, Dr. Stanley Jack Odell. His friends just called him Jack. I just called him, out of respect, I just called him Dr. Odell. He was a really nice guy. He was a Wittgensteinian, so he's the one who spurred my interest in Wittgenstein. And a lot of undergrads didn't like him because they thought he was strict. But that was just because you had a lot of these undergrads who didn't understand the nature of philosophy and thought it was just you could think and say anything you want that is abstract and that's philosophy, and that's not how philosophy works. So knowing that, I had huge respect for him, and like my first philosophy class was a senior level philosophy class that I and so I even asked him. I said, "Well, Dr. Odell, I just took this metaphysics class with you." I said, "I know it's like an upper level class, but should I still take philosophy 100 as a prereq?" He's like, "No, why would you?" He was like, "You," he said, "You've passed my class, and this was a class originally for senior." He said, "This class was originally only for seniors and beginning grad students." And he said, "You passed my class, so no, you don't need to take philosophy 100." I missed that guy, but I found out he passed in 2020. He was about 90 or so when he passed. So you don't want to end at 80, because once you hit 80, you're going to want to keep going. That's all I'm saying. And by the time you reach 80, because I'm pretty sure you're probably like in your 20s or 30s now, people are going to be living longer. We've already seen people live in it up to their 120s. That timeline might, that lifespan may expand even more so within the next 20, 30 years. So I say keep on trucking. Zubair says you should try tuna pizza. It's amazing with red onions. But you didn't describe what the tuna pizza is. Are you saying it's pizza with tuna on it? That's what I don't understand when you kept saying try tuna pizza. Carl says I'm never dying. I'm having too much fun. Are you one of the Highlanders, Carl? If so, you know there can only be one. Zubair says, all right, I'll leave you guys now. Wish you all the best and love. Peace. Peace and love. Thanks, Zubair. Drop by anytime. Miss Contrarian says, Miss Nito, hello. I did start moderating a few months back. I just got busy with work and hiking trips these past 2 months. Tyrese says, what up from Broward County, Florida? What's up, Tyrese? NKGJ says, Detroit fire though. Yeah, I I had I can't remember where I had Detroit style pizza, but yeah, I was like, okay, this is actually good. I didn't expect it. Like when I first saw it, I thought that Detroit style pizza was just like a knockoff Chicago style. Cause like just so you have like a Detroit style hot dog and you have the Chicago style hot dog. I'm like, come on, they just trying to be like Chicago. And I'm biased because I'm from Chicago. So I was like, hey, we got the Bulls, they got the Pistons, right? So I just felt like like Detroit was just doing knockoff stuff, like second rate Chicago stuff. But that's unfair. Detroit has their own swag apart from Chicago. Um, But yeah, the Detroit style pizza is good. If I don't know which one I would choose between Chicago style or Detroit style. I would take either. So I know that's kind of blasphemy in Chicago. So luckily I'm not there. Terry says pineapple is good on pizza. I like it with sausage and bacon and pepperoni. Nah, man. Nah. Nah. Now, if you want to say like something like put tomato on pizza, no, I mean like tomato sauce. I mean like just like diced tomatoes on pizza. I can do that. Like diced tomatoes, red onions, olives, right? I can rock with that. But the pineapple, nah, man. I can't do it. I mean, if that's what you like, that's cool, but I can't do it. Delphi says, any anime you're excited for this season? I don't know what's coming up. So, I, is One Punch Man supposed to be coming back yet? Now, I'm waiting for One Punch Man to return. Of course, we're not gonna get Dragon Ball Super now that Akira Toriyama passed away, but there was supposed to be another season of Dragon Ball Super. So I don't think that's going to happen unless they can decide to continue it without him. But out of respect, they shouldn't. So, um, Attack on Titan just ended last year, or well, the beginning of this year rather. So, only thing I ever think of is like One Punch Man is returning finally, but I don't know if that's going to be this year or what. Um, what else is returning? Like I'm still catching up on Fire Force and Doctor Stone. So those are both just 2 seasons each. So I don't know if there's going to be another season of that. Oh, I know which one I'm waiting for. That I just finished watching. Do you is it Do you talk to girls while I forgot the name. The name is so long. It's like, do you talk to girls while being an adventure in the caves or whatever the name of that show is. Some of you otaku out there can remind me what the name of that is. With the guy who keeps leveling up as a hero, and he has a team, and each team is headed by a Greek god or Greek goddess or other, and every time they really overcome adversity, it power they power up to a new hero level. So I like that show a lot. I just watched the new season of that this about a few months ago. I'm definitely looking forward to the new season because I know in the new season he's gonna power up again. Um, but I don't like the woman he's gonna choose. Like I think he should choose the elf chick, if not the goddess. But he doesn't want to date the goddess who treats him like a boyfriend, just because he think it'll be inappropriate to date a goddess. I can't remember the name of that show though. Sorry, it's just too long. And I don't know, is Goblin Slayer supposed to return? I want another season of Goblin Slayer. Um, Not Demon Slayer. Those are two different things. Goblin Slayer is like more serious than Demon Slayer, but I know Demon Slayer just came back, so now I got to check that out as well. I'm looking forward to the next season of Demon Slayer. But I was hoping they were gonna. I guess Goblin Slayer is done. I guess, but they should do more of that. That series was good from the very first episode. Um, HP says, any comments on Trump's situation? You think it will help him? So yeah, I did a whole live stream on that earlier. HP. Like I said, I was just in shock, like everyone else was. Um, the and like I said, the goal that someone had to do that at his rally. And I know a lot of people was like, how did he even get to a rally? And Officer Tatum was live streaming about it earlier. He was saying that someone messed up on a Secret Service task force, that someone was able to slip in and do that to him. Um, but like I was saying earlier on my previous live stream, is that when it comes to political violence, if someone is determined, there will always be a way for them to figure a way to try to hurt a political leader. Like I said, we saw this in Japan where guns aren't allowed. So this guy literally did a DIY type gun and used it to assassinate the former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. If you have a determined enough person who is disturbed but intelligent enough to follow through with his plans, that's a scary concoction, right? Will it help him? I definitely think so. For one, the the people the people in that are backing him, they're definitely gonna go after people, all the people who've been so vociferously saying we need to get rid of this guy to preserve democracy, because they're going to say, well, this is what happens when you have this sort of fiery rhetoric. Because best believe, as I was just telling someone further up in the chat room, that if this had happened on the other end of Biden, they would have used it for they would have milked it for everything it was worth. So it definitely is going to help Trump in the long term with the election. His base, like his base, there's people within his political base who are already paranoid that they're going to try to do anything to keep that man from winning. And there are political insiders who actually said that even if he was nominated, that they would prevent him from actually receiving the electoral votes he needs to win, and stuff like that. So it's not a huge cognitive leap from that to see that some people would even go so far as political violence to meet their ends. So it's going to definitely help him. I mean, from the conviction to this, they've already pretty much ensured that his election will be a victorious one. Eric Lapointe is back. What's up? Feels as Trump was sea walking to Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. He's a tough old bird too, by the way. I mean, he's 79 years old. And like I said, I just have to assume that this was a left wing nut that tried to shoot at him, because they had no aim. If the person actually knew what they were doing, Trump would have been done. Like it grazed him on the side of his head, either or his ear or his temple. If that person could actually aim, you know. Eric says I'm a tree farmer. So Eric, can you clear this up? Like, people don't believe me when I was saying that when I was younger in West Virginia, I saw that there were houses people built on these very big, wide tree stumps, and people saying, "Oh, you're just making that up." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I clearly remember that." Can you clarify for them that there are actual species of trees that are big enough that people can actually build, like, use as a platform for building houses? Because some people probably don't believe me when I say that. Phil says Green Trump sounds better. Yeah. Little Smokey said, "What's up, dog?" Agri Point says, "No, you don't. You don't look like Don." I keep hearing that. I really don't think so. And I'm not even, I'm not even hating on the guy. He seems pretty cool in interviews. It's just I don't think we look very much alike, aside of being black and having a short, like a close cut hairstyle. Eric says, no, 10 years is nothing for a tree. Thank you. Please, I'm telling people, like, 10 years is not enough time to put in for a tree's lifespan. Like, we're talking about some species that lives thousands upon thousands of years. What is 10 years within that time span? Like, that would be nothing to Yoda. Like, look at Baby Grogu. Baby Grogu, when he meets the Mandalorian, is already 50 years old, but he's still an infant. So Rick Grimes says, "I'm white man. What is your main advice to us?" I don't. You saying as I'm being the white man, or you being the white man? Rick Grimes, one of my favorite characters, by the way. Carl says, as a white man too, Rick, rhymes don't bring color into it. We're all brothers and sisters. Color doesn't need to come into it. Plus, I don't know what, besides the whole race thing, you're saying main advice to us relative to what, though? You mean relative to what's happening and in politics today? Or what do you mean? Like, advice has to be like in context to something. So, Ms. Contreras says, "Yep, tree nurturing is more than important than tree planting. My nonprofit group organizes tree nurturing events once every quarter and tree planting once a year during the rainy season." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not enough just to plant the tree. You actually have to do a lot of maintenance on them to keep them, to actually ensure that they grow. It's not like just planting like grass seedlings and just watching them sprout like a chia pet. C.D. Jones says the shooter was a Democrat because the shots were far left. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not the only one that's made that joke, CJ. I was like, yeah, the person must be a Democrat or a leftist because they got no aim, and we know they can't shoot. Oh yeah, I guess I get it. Miss Contreras says, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it, Mahal, like Akiat Too Long Adventure Team. Aki, yeah. I just call it at because it reminds me, because that's the abbreviation they use, and it reminds me of the Star Wars um, vehicle, the at. Mr. Contreras, that sounds like a superhero team. Carl says, "You're a beautiful man with a beautiful soul. So glad I came across your channel. I'm going to bed now. Good night and God bless." Thank you, Carl. Again, thanks for stopping by. Stop by again. I usually do live streams around the evening time, anywhere between like 6 and 9. I'll start my live streams depending on my schedule, coming home from work and working out and all that sort of stuff. Because I was supposed to do a late night gym sesh today, but I don't think my friend made it back in time because I told him after 10 that would be too late for me. I don't want to be in a fitness center late at night. It's more quiet. You can get your workout done, but I'm not with the late night gym stuff. Mercanoid Peanut Butter is back. He said on both sides, my family members who reached their 80s and 90s were sharp as a knife till the end. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, not everyone faces that same sort of cognitive decline. Like, it's like I said, it's partly due to genetics and and your lifestyle. Like, obviously, genetics you can't control, but you can control your lifestyle, especially when you're a multi-millionaire person like Joe Biden. I mean, he's sitting there saying VP, VP Donald Trump and welcoming President Putin. I mean, he did catch himself, but still, these gaffes just, yeah, they're a sign of early onset dementia. And insiders have actually said that it's worse than what the press and the public have thought because they've actually been hiding how bad his situation is, which shows to me that he needs to step down. Slash understand says, give young folks some advice. I don't mind giving young people advice, man. Just ask me something specific and I'll try to do so. Like, I've done a whole live stream just for young people, so there's no comment thread in it because when you if you make like a live stream just for young people, it doesn't allow comments so that people can't come in and do inappropriate or say inappropriate things. But I did a whole live stream on young people talking about college as far as the whole controversy around what is considered a BS major and stuff like that. So I did that just for young people. Now I'll just talk about BS majors. I'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff in that stream related to that as well. I also tell them how that regardless of majors, what they need to be doing to ensure that they land a lucrative job after college, which is basically making sure they get those internships, which over in places like the Philippines, like my wife can tell you, they internship is actually a part of the degree process. Like the last thing they do before they receive their degree is they have to intern somewhere. Um, Whereas that's not a requirement here for American and other westernized countries degree programs. But over there in a lot of those places, the internship is actually a part of receiving the degree. Sort of like how on a graduate level, like if you for a master's you have to do a thesis, and for your doctorate you have to do a dissertation. And even on a bachelor's level, like if you are if you're part of the honors program, you have to do an honors thesis. So, but aside from that, most people don't do that, so they should be doing these internships. But anyway, yeah, ask me a specific question, and I'll try to answer it for you. Who me says who's selling food stamps? I got 40. Well, I would not say that online, who me, because that is that is a felony, right? That is a felony. I wouldn't be saying it on I wouldn't be saying it online if I were you. Merkin on Peanut Butter says the only anime I watch is the Boondocks. That shows that's SHIT. We quoted the show every day in high school. Well, there were uh, a lot of Korean animators involved, but that doesn't count as an anime. To count as an anime, the the show has to be made and produced by a Japanese animation studio. This is the same reason why the last Airbender doesn't count as an anime, because it wasn't made and produced by a Japanese animation studio, and that gets a lot of controversy because a lot of people say, well, it was an anime because it's drawn in an anime style, but it's not enough to be drawn in the anime style. It actually has to be made and produced by a Japanese animation studio to be anime proper. Delva says uh, I like Dragon Ball Super. He said I feel like Dragon Ball Super lost its magic after the Tournament of Power. We got Ultra Ego, Beast Gohan, and Black Frieza. It's just nonstop power ups after powers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was the other question, is they said they were going to do another season, but I was like, where can you really go from there? Like they're doing multiverses. He's basically at the level of a god. The only thing that can happen now is that he actually replaces um what's his name as the god of destruction. Like at this point, that's the only thing they could do, is that make him so powerful that he actually replaces the god of destruction. Like I don't know where the manga goes with it, but if there, I don't. I'm pretty sure that the anime had caught up with the manga, because and it was weird the way they cut up the episodes on Cartoon Network. Even though Dragon Ball Super was going for like 3 or 4 years, they all considered it just one season. The way they cut the seasons up, so I'm not sure how they did it in Japan or how they did it on Crunchyroll, but the way Cartoon Network did it, all those different arcs counted as just one season. Forever BFS is nonsense. Well, I don't know what you're referring to as nonsense. Uh, Delphi says Black Frieza one shotted Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra I forgot Yui and Yui Vegeta, so it wouldn't be too far fetched to think Akira had another transformation in the works for Goku and Vegeta to beat Black Frieza. Yeah. Missing Trend says Dilfer, we try our best. It's called at for short. Um, at is also a Filipino word that means excited. Oh, I didn't know that. So I just learned something new about Tagalog with you guys. Like I said, I think As soon as she already knows when I see ad, I'm thinking of Star Wars. Therefore says, Ms. Katrina, are you a big fan of anime or comics or pop culture like your husband? It looks like some people got deleted by Mrs. Contrarian. I told you guys she's not playing. Regular Douglas is Trump for Führer. That's weird. That's very weird. But anyway, uh, difference is if Biden stepped down today and Kamala Harris became president, how do you think she would do with the time she would have left as president? Um, it. I don't know. You mean like if she was like, you mean assuming that she wouldn't run in his place and would just be a lame duck president? Um, I think lame. Well, I can't speak for her, but usually lame duck presidents are like at the best stage of their presidency because that's when they just give zero Fs and will just do whatever they actually have like stuff they actually care about is when they are lame duck president. However, I mean, I don't think she would do anything remotely different from what Biden has been doing for the past 4 years if he had to step down and she took over for the last few months of his presidency. I wouldn't see I I don't see there being any big policy changes. My whole that whole thing that the figure is saying is some stupid gay joke here in America. So anyway, it's basically saying if you say one or the other, then they say the first person who moves is gay or whatever. And depending on whether the person is gay or not, either you do move or you sit there and don't move. It's stupid. It's another dumb Generation Z thing because they're idiots. LYCW, well, I'm sorry, LYC, what you doing? Well, YUD thought says Trump for King, 2025 forever. Well, I embrace your enthusiasm, but we don't need kings. We just need presidents. We don't need Führers. We don't need kings. We just need Trump to be president. I think that's good enough. Mr. Contreras says, Delphi, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I used to watch anime as a kid and teenager, but I've been a big Swifty since. Oh, here we go. A big Swifty since 2007 and eventually became an outdoorsy person from my early 20s. Uh, I was waiting for her to answer because I wasn't going to answer for her. I already know the answer. Now, her brother, my brother-in-law, he's a big anime guy. He actually put me onto some things like One Piece and my My Hero Academia. Mercanoid Peanut Butter says, "Do you think they will keep the candidates in a cage for protection in public appearances for this election year now?" No, I don't think any cage or anything that like that. I think Secret Service is just going to be doubled up. Like they're not playing because this is on their reputation when something happens to a president. Because it's not just any Secret Service. By the way, it's not just any Secret Service that protects presidents and other high profile diplomats. This is a specific training, like a specific task force that is part of the Secret Service that protects high profile people like presidents and stuff like that. So they take that really seriously. So when people are saying, "Oh, this is staged," I was like, "Yeah, this is not staged. Secret Service doesn't play that game." But yeah, I don't. I think they're still going to be doing their rallies and stuff like that, and stumping along the country for doing speeches. I just think that they're going to beef up. They're probably going to beef up Secret Service, and they might even contract. If you know, I don't know, they might even hire private arm contractors too. But yeah, best believe they Secret Service is going to be beefed up, and they're going to. What is going to happen is they're going to have a lot of plainclothes agents mixed in those crowds. I mean, they already do that now, but there's going to be a lot more. Like people don't know. Like it's going to be a lot of plainclothes agents mixed into those rallies. Delphi says, Ms. Contrarian, did you take him to see any Taylor Swift concerts? Uh, and Delphi says, are you caught up with One Piece anime and manga? So, um, no, I haven't caught up with One Piece because now that it's on the second half of the series, so where I'm watching, so I've been watching on Netflix, and even I think on, I'm not sure about Crunchyroll, but I think even on Crunchyroll and on Hulu, like if you watch it, it skips over 500 episodes into which is the last half, the last arc, well, not the last few arcs of the first half of the series, because that the series is so long, it's split into like a part one and part two. Get away from me, spider. Anyway, um, the whole One Piece is split into two halves, and so right now we're in the beginning or mid stage of the second half. The problem is, so after like the 514th episode or whatever from the first half, it skips over 500 something episodes. So you're complete. I don't know if most people who watch One Piece have just accepted that they don't know what's happening in those 500 other episodes unless they read the manga. But if there's a platform where you can see all of that missing episodes, I want to see it. Plus, on Netflix, all of the new stuff that came out is still in subtitles. I don't want to see the subtitle stuff. I'm waiting for it to get dubbed before I catch up with everything. Like I'll chalk it up to the gods that I'm just gonna miss those other 500 episodes. But all the stuff that's coming out now, which is subtitled, no, I'm gonna wait till they finally dub that stuff. Because there's no way you can enjoy like One Piece in subtitles and not have to watch each episode like three or four times. And Mrs. Contrarian is is that's some wishful thinking on her part that I'm gonna go to a Swifty concert. Only way I'm going to a Swifty concert is uh I don't know what she's sharing like it's a concert with not just Taylor Swift but it's like people I like I don't know like she does a it's Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, Wu-Tang, uh I don't know. Like it would have to be like something to that nature for me to go to one of those concerts because I'm gonna be around a bunch of screaming women, mostly of teenagers or women who act like teenagers. And it's gonna be a bunch of rainbow guys, and yeah, not my speed. Now there are some actual songs of hers I like though. Don't get me wrong, there are songs of hers I like. Matter of fact, she and I are going to do a video of me reacting to a Taylor Swift song. I just haven't done it yet because I have to get a new computer so I can do that adequately. So we can actually edit and do all that sort of stuff. But I am going to actually do a video of me reacting to a Taylor Swift song that she picks. We just haven't done it yet, but we will. Gal- Gal- uh, Goliath plays says, "How do you stay disciplined and productive?" It's internal, I guess. You gotta want to do it for yourself. You can't rely on others to motivate you. That's why I don't like having people like working out with some people who don't want to work out. They're like fat and they're lazy. They like so they look to others to motivate them to work out. I don't need that. Like I just get up. I want to run. Like I want to run because I enjoy the act of running itself. It's the process of running to me that's enjoyable, not the results that it gives me. if you enjoy the process, you can be disciplined in what you do. Because if you're only looking at it from a goal, from a results oriented perspective, it's gonna taint your perspective on it. Like say for like in academics, for instance, like if you are only in school just for the results of what school will give you, then you may not be as motivated as another person who's in it just because they love learning. I simply love learning, so I knew I was going to college regardless of whether it would give me a career or not, because I just wanted to go. Growing up watching sitcoms where all the kids went off to college, I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And plus, I learned early on in grade school that I just enjoy learning. So I learned a lot of stuff on my own outside of school, whether just reading my entire encyclopedia set, buying little science kits and playing with them, all sorts of stuff. So it depends on what you're actually looking to be disciplined in or productive in. Same thing with combat sports. Um, if you just genuinely enjoy doing stuff like boxing and MMA and Muay Thai, that's that's your that's what's going to keep you doing it because you enjoy doing it. And there's going to be some days that you don't want to do it. And some days I don't want to run. There's some days I don't want to go work out. But once I start doing it, I realize, oh, I'm glad I did this because I love doing this. So I think it takes some sort of internal motivating mechanism, and not everyone has that. Some people are only motivated externally. I think those are the ones who are going to struggle with discipline and being productive. So, Delphi says Netflix is dumb for doing what they did with One Piece, but Crunchyroll has all the episodes available for the watch. Oh, okay, thank you. All right. But is it behind a paywall though? Because like after the dumb thing was after Crunchyroll merged with what's the other platform. Once they merged with them, they put more stuff behind a paywall when a lot of the stuff used to be for free. Now a lot of the stuff that's behind a paywall on Crunchyroll I can see on Hulu though. But if I can watch all those missing episodes that aren't on Netflix and some of those other channels, um, and it's dubbed, then I'm gonna check it out. Cause like I said, I already know exactly what episode it stopped on. Like right after, Ace dies, and then, uh, you know, all that stuff that happened. Like Mercanoid Peanut Butter says, have you ever seen the show Underworld Incorporated? It's literally a show where they actually commit a different crime each episode. There's one where they steal a car, and another they make counterfeit meds. No, because I'm not really into like um, crime drama that much. So yeah, so I never watched it. Jeffrey says Taylor Swift and a Wu-Tang collab would be crazy. I can see it happening. I can see it happening. I mean, no one like look back at '96. No one would have thought that Mariah Carey and Old Dirty Bastard would have did a duet. I could definitely see Taylor Swift doing a duet with one of the members of Wu Tang. I mean, obviously ODB isn't with us, R.I.P. to Old Dirty, but I can see her doing one with like Method Man or something. I mean, she just did one with what's his name, and that song is fire. I'm not gonna lie, that song is fire. My wife was surprised I liked this that song, but that was fire. I could definitely see her doing a song with Wu Tang, but I'm just saying like they could do a concert, like she could do like a concert that's like mixed hip hop, um, to like bring to kind of get that urban audience um, invested in her music. Because like I said, her whole album from like 2014, 2015, whatever it was, that was like a lot of just hip hop influence there. Mercury on Peanut Butter says it was a crazy show because they really were committing crimes like building ghost guns and fighting dogs and stuff. Yeah, that's something I definitely wouldn't be interested in. Anything like crime related is not really stuff I'm interested in. The only crime related stuff that I watch is stuff dealing with the mob, with the mafia. That stuff I learn like learning about. Like I'll watch like documentaries all day on the mafia, all that sort of stuff. But for like just the but like all your little typical like crime drama stuff, I really don't watch that. I don't even watch police dramas either. Davis is very true on needing to be self motivated. It starts with you. I hear the excuse of I can't stop eating junk food to lose weight, and that just tells me that they didn't want it enough to commit. Right. Now, for some, I mean, some things when it comes to motivation, you might have to actually get like some sort of behavioral therapy techniques to supplement the. But if someone wants it bad enough, they'll do it. They'll actually go into therapy and get the behavioral therapy to change. Mrs. Contrarian says, I don't know if you've heard Taylor's collabs with Kendrick Lamar, Future, and T Pain. See, I didn't know that. See, she's a Swiftie. I didn't know that. I didn't know she did something with Kendrick Lamar. That would definitely be hot right now because Kendrick Lamar is now the newly crowned king of rap. So yeah, that would definitely work. Like I said, she could bring all those people up in a concert. It, it would probably do well. But like I said, her audience doesn't really mix with the hip hop audience. But we can see it happening. I mean, look what happened back in the day with like Run DMC and Aerosmith, or Jay-Z and uh, whatever their names was, and or other people like LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it can happen. The difference is I've never followed her, but wow, she has a lot of big hitters that she has collabed with. Yeah, I mean, she even got her boyfriend now doing stuff with her on at concerts. I did not see that happening. Difference is for Crunchyroll, I just pay $7.99 a month with no ads, so it's pretty good. Okay. Difference is, and it's dubbed all the way to the latest season. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear, that it's dubbed. That's all I needed to know, is that it's dubbed. Like I'll buy a subscription if I can get the stuff that I want, which is dubbed. I don't know what someone was doing out like at night. Someone was doing fireworks early, but now I don't know what the neighbor's doing. Anyway, uh, Mercanoid Peanut Butter says a lot of people think the Wu-Tang Clan got soft, but I think they just matured. I mean, yeah, I mean they've been out since like '92, so you're going to change is inevitable when it comes to these artists. No one can expect an artist to be the same they were like 30 years ago. You really shouldn't even expect them to be the same they were 5 years ago. So, but a lot of that stuff is still good. Like the song, that song they came out with last year, Claudine. That joint is fire. And besides that, Wu Tang's always been a mix. They have never been just like pure gangster. They've always like experimented in different styles. Like that's always since the '90s. They've always experimented with different styles, especially RZA doing stuff like the Grave Diggers and Bobby like Bobby what's it called, Bobby Digital. He's all like the RZA and some of the other members, the original nine members. They've all like experimented with different stuff over time. Like Method Man became sort of the lover man of the group. That wasn't originally his swag. He was like grimy when he first came out. He did that one song with Mary J, and then he was like kind of like the lover boy of the group ever since. Denver says with the rise of social media, uh, quote celebrities unquote, do you think it's possible that in the future we could see someone like Mr. Beast running for president and actually getting a sense they click with the younger voters? Uh, Now, is it possible? Yes. Do you mean is it a likelihood? I don't know because since his whole brand is basically been, I don't watch Mr. Beast, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But it seems his whole brand is being sort of like a everyman sort of person. You can't be a everyman sort of person once you run for politics because once you do, you have to pick a side, and then as soon as you pick a side, half of the country is going to dislike you just by virtue of that fact, which is what's going to happen to The Rock. I predicted The Rock is going to try to run for office. As soon as he does, whichever side he falls on politically, the other half of the country is going to automatically hate him because of his choice. You can't be an everyman in politics, which is I think is hope, which is Mr. Beast's whole brand as being like an everyman sort of person. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't watch his videos, but it seemed like that's his whole shtick is being sort of like an everyman. Um, like I said, look at Donald Trump. He was not this controversial before he came into before he ran for office. He started becoming like controversial when he started talking about Obama wasn't from America, and they tried to ridicule him for it. So he was like, "All right, I'm gonna run for president." And then people ridiculed him more. They're like, "This guy think he can run for president," and then ended up winning. Oh, so yeah, it's just fireworks outside, guys. That's what I'm hearing. See, I don't like fireworks in black communities because there's always a guess. Is it fireworks or is it gunshots? It can be either or, and sometimes it can be both. So, in any case, it's fireworks. Um, but yeah, Mr. Beast, if he ran for president, he wouldn't be that successful because one, older people don't, and older people make up a stronger voting block than the younger voters. That's number one. And so like I said, number two, him being a what I assume to be like a sort of everyman sort of person. He can't be an everyman once you go into politics because you have to choose a side. Especially, I mean, on the presidential level, like at the presidential level, it's the two party system is firmly entrenched. You don't have to do the whole two party system on the lower levels of politics, but the presidential level, that's the only way you're playing at the big leagues is the two party system, which means, like I said, just by virtue of the fact of you picking a side, half the country is going to dislike you, even if you were just a non-controversial person prior. That's, I guess, the best way I can answer that. But yeah, is it possible? Absolutely. But is it likely? I don't know. I don't. Probably not. Someone's talking smack, so they got banned. And I was just reading it too. EA says, "Be careful in here, y'all. This dude is a federal informant. All paperwork on the county judicial website." Yeah, no, I'm not. Schmuck. You don't even know my name. In any case, how am I a CI? You want to know who was a CI? Reverend Al Sharpton. He was a CI. He was snitching on the mob for their um, with their ties to drug deals. And if you continue saying anything else dumb like that, because that is actual like legal slander, I'm gonna ban you off this fucking platform. You dumbass troll. I hate you little Gen Z fucking retards. Anyway, Dilford says, when I was a young kid and I first heard the Wu-Tang Clan, I thought they were Asian rappers. Yeah, right? it was just dope. Like when I was like that, I think Wu-Tang was probably my first hardcore rap tape that I bought. Well, I didn't buy it. A girlfriend when I was in the 11th grade bought it for me. No, 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 no. Wait, did she? Came out because they came out in like '93, right? Yeah, I think she did buy me the tape. I think. No, no. She bought me something. I don't remember, but yeah, when they first came out, yeah, I was no when they first came out, I knew they were black, but the thing was, I wasn't used to that strong accent, so I was like, why these like my friends and I back then we was like, why these dudes sound like they Italian? Yep. Mrs. Contrarian is on her duty, guys. So the Merkin peanut butter. I think Bushwick Bill could have been president. He was very charming. I think he could have really seen eye to eye with the public. You're making jokes. Bushwick Bill, no, would have been a he wouldn't have had a snowball's chance in hell of becoming president. You know that. Ms. Contrarian says her collab with Kendrick was re-released last year as part of the 1989 album re-release. She has so many re-releases. I mean, it's smart how she re-released her albums though, Mahal. Like how it's pretty. That's pretty savvy business. Like she's. I don't know if those were the decisions she made or her team, but she's a pretty savvy. Excuse me. She's pretty business savvy. I gotta say. Devil says, Missing Contrarian, are you one of those Swifties that know every single lyrics to every single song? I've literally heard her sing these songs, like with her friends, like just yelling it. And then Man on Earth says Ron Paul would have been great. On I don't know, he would have been great on some things and on, but on on some things he would have been great. On others, uh, like I definitely think he would have done some stuff on prison reform and um, drug legalization and stuff like that. So, but on other things, I don't. I'm not sure. Ms. Contreras says Dilford. Yes, I told you. Like she'll quote like whole lyrics on her page, like so. Darren says I know like half the lyrics to "Shake It Off" because you just sing "Shake It Off." The part that says "Shake It Off," don't you? And Nan says, "LOL." He wanted to end the feds. You donut. Okay. The the Fed Reserve. That'd have been a pretty unlikely though, and that would have been pretty unlikely that he ends the Federal Reserves. Also, like I said, like Steven Pinker has mentioned, there's no westernized nation that has a libertarian government. Liber, Libertarian ideology doesn't really work when it comes to running a government. Like it can work on the lower levels, like a on a congressional level, or like a lower or like a mayoral level, maybe even a gubernatorial level. But on the presidential level, we don't see any. There's no case of a Western nation having a libertarian government. The ideology does not just the the, the ideology is just impractical for running the government. So we're unlikely to see a libertarian president anytime soon. I mean, you may agree with the libertarian ideology. That's fine, but I think it's impractical. So, and Mr. Contrarian says, "Shake It Off" is one of my least favorites. It's just so overplayed, and she picks some of her worst songs as radio singles. I don't think. Well, do you think she picks them though, Mahal? Um, I don't. I don't know. But yeah, that's true. Like the the most commercial songs aren't on her best ones. Best ones. Like I said, it's that album from 2014 to 2015 that's my favorite. Cause that, well, maybe just because that was like the first one I really heard of her like songs. But yeah, guys, I'm Mrs. Contrarian and I are gonna go soon because I'm hungry. Okay. But I'll let this rock for a little bit longer. I'm gonna let this rock to 12. Oh, Misconstruction. That's 1989, released in 2014. Yeah, that's the one I like. Mahal is 1989. So maybe I should give that a listen to again. Delver says I thought they were chosen based off how often is bought or played. It depends. Like on the radios, like artists or their teams will actually pay. Like I'm not saying she does this, but I know for a fact that artists or their teams will actually pay like studios, like these radio stations to play their songs continuously on a loop just to get interest in those in that album. There's a lot of artists and their producers that actually do that. Like they go to these radio stations and they pay them. So when you was like, why they keep playing a song over and over again, it's probably because that radio station was paid to do so. So Derwin says learn something new. That's why I hear the same crap on the radio for months. Yeah, I mean that, and then also like, so they'll play the most trending songs at the time. Um, that'll happen. Plus, they want stuff that'll feed their sponsors. So, because I remember when I was in high school in my senior year, one of the producers from WPGC in DC came by and was asking us questions, and everyone kept asking him the same thing. It's like, why do y'all keep playing the same 20 songs all day long? And he was like, well, actually, we don't. He says probably, but the time you guys listen to the station is when we are playing those songs. So it appears that we're just playing the same thing over and over again. He said, but he said we do try to run different stuff throughout the day. We was like, well, yeah, we were rude kids. I mean, it's the 90s. He was like, yeah, well, to us, you just playing the same stuff over and over again, so we get tired and turn it off. You would think the radio would have took that as a head executive radio producer would have took that as a cue to like, okay, we need to do something different. But radio stations haven't done anything different. That's why most people don't even listen to the radio anymore. And if they do listen to the radio, they're not listening to it on their car. They're probably listening to it through their phone on like iHeartRadio or something like that. So Dev says I love Kendrick Lamar. Not like a song, but goddamn, I hear it every 15 minutes on my way to work. Right. See, the funny thing is when I do listen to the car radio, I'm I'm probably not even listening to music. I'll probably be listening to what's the what what's that station? It's like PBS but for radio. Um, dang, whatever the radio, whatever it's called, but only music I'll usually listen to when I'm driving is probably classical. I might turn on like hip hop when it's like the afternoon mix, like like that, like when they play like the afternoon mix, I might play music. But since I'm rarely driving, and when I do drive, I don't really play hip hop. I'm generally listening either to classical music or I'm listening to the news. So Mrs. Contreras says she released "Cruel Summer" as a single 4 years ago. Oh, excuse me. She released "Cruel Summer" as a single 4 years later to promote the Eras tour, mainly due to its popularity among the Swifties. Okay. Oh, guys, so Mrs. Contrarian, I have videos of Mrs. Contrarian at the Eras Tour concert film, and they are going bananas in there. Like, you wouldn't know they were in a movie theater. You would think they were at a full-on like live concert. They're in a film. They're in the movie theater, just wilding. So if you guys want to see that, that is in my videos. Um, I think it's in my travel If you go to my travel section, you can see a lot of stuff that has Mrs. Contrarian in it. And like I said, right after this live stream, I'm going to drop another video of her at this school in the Kazan province where they're giving out supplies to the kids. The first video I dropped last night, which is her actually doing a 3 hour hike to this elementary school in the Quezon province of the Philippines. But the video I'm going to drop after this live stream is going to be her actually at the school with the kids. So with her travel group at. Lindsay Collins says, "Have you watched Mr. Beast before?" Nah, I haven't. That's why I was saying I can only assume he's sort of like has a everyman sort of persona because I never watched him. Lindsay says, "I'm in a challenge. Can you say hi to me?" Hi, Lindsay. How are you? I hope you win your contest or challenge. Mrs. Contreras says, "My all-time favorite Kendrick song is Backseat Freestyle." Mine is what is mine? Well, I like the song his collab with Miguel. How many drinks? That's one of my favorites. But let me look up my Kendrick songs on my Spotify. Actually, this is Mrs. Contrarian Spotify. I just used it. Oh, so of course my favorite song of Kendrick Lamar is the Black Panther theme. That's my shit. Like literally every time that song comes on when I'm running, I just crush it. I crush it when that song comes on. That's my favorite Kendrick Lamar song. Lindsay Calendar says, "What are you doing?" Well, obviously I'm doing a live stream with you folks. I won't be saying anything, my friend, unless you drop the cash app. We don't play those games here. Like I said, if you're gonna try to get me to say something stupid, I'm Gen X. We've done it already. You're not gonna fool me into saying some dumb shit. So you've been timed out. I don't, Mahal, I don't know why they keep thinking they can trick me into saying some dumb stuff. Like I didn't watch Simpsons for like for most of my childhood and adult life. Since 1989, I've been watching Simpsons. Like, how do they think I'm gonna fall for these little infantile tricks? I truly think Gen Z is like kind of like not kind of they're just pretty stupid all around. Delphin says, "Have a good night, brother," and have a good night, Mr. Contrarian. Enjoy your dinner, whatever you guys are gonna eat. Thanks, Delphin. Have a good one. Eric is back. Eric Alvarado, that is. He said, "Have you listened to the new Common and Pete rock album? The Auditorium Volume 1 is a good album." No, I didn't even know they did something together. And you would think I would because I follow Pete Rock on Instagram, and I haven't seen him. As far as I know, I don't remember seeing anything on his Instagram about this new app. Actually, wait, did I? I might have, and I probably forgot all about it. Because Pete Rock posts so much crazy stuff. He's always posting like some little conspiratorial stuff, or he's posting like some funny memes or whatever. So he may have mentioned his album with Common, but I don't remember seeing it on his IG. Lindsay said I did. Thank you. Good. Now you gotta support your boy. No, I'm joking. No, actually, if you want to support me, Lindsay, since you won your challenge, give me a like and a subscribe. Um, we'll call it even. Everyone else too, if you guys won't mind, give me a like and a subscribe, and you can even share the video if you like. That help me grow in the algorithm. Yay close to being monetized. My whole last time I checked the my analytics, I was 100, I think 126 public watch hours short of being monetized. And guys, she and I are gonna do something special when I get monetized as a celebration. Celebration, bitches. No, I'm playing. No, but, no, but yeah, we're gonna do something nice. She still owes me a congratulations video for my 1,000 subs. But no. Alika Miranda says I just like have a good night. Thanks Alika. I didn't even see you in the chat earlier. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Please come back too, by the way. And guys, um, I always try to bring up different topics every week because my wife said to not just keep talking about the same thing over and over again. So if you guys have suggestions for topics, please give them to me because I have done them before. The ironic thing was when people have given me like topics to do, they weren't available. They weren't available when I did them. So I would suggest please give me a topic and then also be around so I can actually discuss the topic with you when I do it. So I will take on topics if you guys have suggestions. The only thing I object to is when people try to change the topic within that live stream that day. but if you want, but if you want to give me topics for another day, I'll absolutely consider it. Um, Anyone else? But if not, I'm gonna call it a night myself. I'm hungry. Mrs. Contrarian wants to clean off. She has all her hiking equipment. She has to clean off from that last trip that you guys just saw. If you want to support us, go watch her video I'll put up, and I'll give you guys the title for it here. Give me 1 second while I do that. Ezekiel Finch 69 says you play video games or anything that could be something you should do. I have a lot of hobbies, but video gaming isn't one of them. I grew out of gaming back when I was a teenager. So I mean, if I can find an arcade, like in the Philippines, they still have arcades at the malls, which is the malls are so awesome there in the Philippines. I've actually done that's another video you guys can watch. I've done a video where I show a ghost mall here in Baltimore called Security Square Mall, and I show a thriving mall near where my house is in the Philippines. And it's me at the Baltimore Mall, and it's my wife at the at the Manila Mall. So you guys can check that out. Like they're thriving over there. They still have arcades there. But in any case, let me give you guys the name of the video that you can support. It's called Mrs. Contrarian's 3-hour hike to a school in Quezon province. Please check that out. Give it a like. And if you like, share it. It's really good content. Okay. And it's not long either. Pause. That's not what she said. Eric says, what time is it by you? It's 10:40 p.m. Chicago time. It's 11:40 here. Oh, 11:42 rather. Oh, since you're here, Eric, All right, so we were talking about pizza earlier. Someone brought up the very, very controversial question of whether pineapple should be on pizza. Let's not get back into that. But however, I would say, do you think Detroit style is just want to be Chicago style pizza, or is it its own thing? Because like I said, for a long time, I thought that both Detroit style pizza and Detroit style hot dogs were just want to be Chicago style. But do you think they're their own thing? Sergeant says you have a place in the Philippines. Yes, yes, I do. That's currently, yeah. Well, yeah. So, to the short answer, yes. Sorry, 412 Vibes says Pittsburgh here. What's up? Pittsburgh's in the place. Haven't been there in a long time. And even when I was there, I think it was, well, we just drove through from what I can recollect. Didn't stop there. So I actually should visit Pittsburgh. There's like, I, so guys, I plan on like moving back overseas and staying there permanently. But there's a few places I really should put on my American bucket list before I go. So I've already said that all of the flyover states are like places I want to visit before I leave here, just because they're beautiful places, and they're kind of overlooked by people on both coasts of the country. But places like Colorado, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, those sorts of places I would actually like to visit. And then there's places within in the, I guess, around the east, which is like not East Coast, but like on the eastern side of the United States that I should probably visit before I go. Like places like parts of Pennsylvania that aren't Philly, because I lived in Philly. So for anyone from Philly, like it's just pretty much like that's it, Philly. Like we don't go to the other parts of Pennsylvania, which are far greater than just the greater Philadelphia metro area. But yeah, I realized I've never really like hung out in Pittsburgh. And then like I said, there's places on the eastern side of the United States that I haven't visited that I should probably go to. You know, places like maybe like Tennessee and Kentucky. You know, part like basically Appalachia, like all the neglected places that people don't really go to unless they live there. So like old Appalachia here on the east, and way over west, all the flyover states. Those two regions I would like to visit before I'm no longer here permanently or indefinitely, whichever. Plus, there are a lot of Indian reservations in those places. So, Sergeant says I've been to about 32 states, not many flyover states or Northeast. Okay. Philly and Jersey are cool. Pittsburgh is awesome. Proposed to my wife there. Okay. So I hope that's going well. Plus, I do know, like Pittsburgh and Philly are rivals, but when it when it comes to sports, but from my understanding is when either team makes it to the championship, they both root for each other. Like Pittsburgh will root for Philly, and Philly will root for Pittsburgh, even though until then they're like bitter rivals. Sergeant says hi. Yes, thanks. Yes, it is. Good, good. Peppermint Area says hello, everyone. Who is your team? I don't have a team right now. Like I said, that's because people ask me before, do I have what sports did I follow, and I really don't. Only sports I really watch now is combat sports, and really, even that's not that much true. Like really, the only sports and the only combat sports I watch is One Fighting Championship. They're much better than the UFC. Their fighters are way more talented. It's more entertaining. They treat their talent better than Dana does. Like people like Stamp Fair Tax. and Iron Man, Rod Tang. These guys are millionaires from what they do, and they're overseas, so that's worth even more for them living in Thailand to be like, um, worth worth millions here in American money. But yeah, I only really watch one FC, or sometimes I watch my alma mater when it goes to a championship, University of Maryland. Like, if they go to a championship, like basketball, or if they go to one of the big bowls in football, I'll watch that sometimes. But generally, I don't really watch sports. I'm a pretty nerdy person. Sergeant says, "Would Philippines be a good place to raise a family in?" Absolutely, absolutely. One, you have a lower cost of living. Two, people who like traditional values would like the Philippines. And you don't even have to be Catholic for the Philippines, but it's just that it's a place where they still hold traditional values. One of the most wholesome things I've seen is like, so when like kids will make it into college, you'll see like in their local like town or barangay or whatever or district, like they'll actually have the names of all the kids going off. Like so and so is going off to do her her bachelor in mechanical engineering and such and such. And when the kids, and then even when the kids graduate from college, they'll shout them out too. Like, you don't see stuff like that here. Wouldn't that be so nice to see that here in like a local community saying, "Oh, Bridget is going off to to University of Chicago. So and so is going to UNC." Like, that'd be nice. But yeah, it's a very wholesome place to live. And for an American, your money stretches farther, so you will live a higher income lifestyle over there as compared to here. I would definitely recommend it, unless you can't deal with heat. If you someone who prefers cold weather, then the Philippines wouldn't be for you. But the Philippines is a love, and on top of that, every year they're rated like some of the friendliest people. Like there's an actual like index for friendliest places in the world, and Philippines is always in the top 10. If not, well, I should say they are always in the top 5. Really, the food is delicious. You can't go anywhere where you can't find fried chicken. All of our all of the restaurants you want here are there. There are restaurants that closed here in America that are still over there, like Kenny Rogers Roasters. They're still there, right? And of course, you get McDonald's everywhere. Burger King. They now have Popeye's Chicken in the Metro Manila area. Uh, they even have Shake Shack in the Metro Manila area. Now, some of these restaurants you won't find outside of Metro Manila. Like if you decide to move somewhere, um, like Cebu or some of the other places in the Visayas that a lot of expatriates like to go to. A lot of expatriates like to go to places within the Visayas, and I don't like those places because I think that it's just there for these older guys to live out their little Robinson Crusoe lifestyle. Not for me. Peppermint Area says they continue to look out for their family too. If they make it, their family makes it. Yeah, like most people live with an extended families over there. Like I'll, me and Mrs. Contrarian, like her family lives with us. I like it just fine. I don't have a problem with it. If anything, like I said, I told her I was actually talking about maybe expanding into a second house. Just to have more, just to make it more comfortable. But I'm fine with how it is now. So, Nick, uh, WSB Cotto Wilson says, God bless, brother. Thank you, Nick. Jose, are you Filipino? Sergeant says, I'm sold. Haha, I'll have to look into that. You never know what's next. I travel the country in my fifth wheel with my wife and daughters. I could see doing that too if I can set myself up financially. It's definitely ways to do it. Um, oh, by the way, just so I'm not biased, some people prefer Thailand over the Philippines. They're both about equal. So the Philippines is a little bit cheaper than the Thailand. A little bit, not a lot, but it's a little bit cheaper. Now, if you want a lot cheaper, then it's like and Vietnam and Indonesia, but they speak a lot less English in those places. So outside of like Bali in Indonesia, like you're probably gonna need to learn how to speak Bahasa Indonesian, the main language, the Bahasa Indonesian language. And Vietnam, probably outside of the touristy areas of like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, probably not gonna be a lot of English speakers. So Philippines English is actually their second national language. So everywhere people speak English. Now some people may not be comfortable speaking English, but that's just a concern of theirs that they're scared to speak it around foreigners. Like one of my wise friends, he's literally has a degree in English and didn't want to talk around because he was nervous about speaking English with a native English speaker. But most people can speak some modicum of English. Thailand less, they speak less English than the Philippines, but some people prefer Thailand over the Philippines, and here's why. Some people say the food is better. I don't know. I've been there, but I haven't lived in Thailand. I've lived in the Philippines. So Thailand, some expats say the food is better. One thing that is definitely true of Thailand is they have a better internet and infrastructure. They have high speed internet and they have a better infrastructure in Thailand than in the Philippines. So that's definitely true. As far as whether the food is better, that's probably subjective. Um, and again, like I said, they're both similar in lower cost of living. Um, Thai, Thais tend to be friendly, but I think Filipinos are much higher up on that index on friendliness than Thais are. Um, and of course, like Thailand has the notorious Pattaya that a lot of people like, or Phuket, but Philippines has Angela City, which is basically the equivalent of Pattaya. So if people are there on that for that sort of manga experience, you can get that in the Philippines just like you can get it in Thailand. So they're pretty similar for expats, but like I said, for living there, like long term, I would give Philippines the slight advantage, just because, like I said, it's slightly cheaper than Thailand. Most people speak English, so you don't have to learn Tagalog to be able to maneuver there. Um, it's it was once an American colony, so it's more Americanized than Thailand. So for good or for bad, that is. Some people might see that as a bad thing, but um, within Metro Manila, at least, and like I said, places like Cebu and Dumaguete and other places, you know, an American can do just fine. And I feel generally safe there, by the way, too. This is another thing. Peppermint Harris says Thailand has some nice apartments in the city, very affordable and modern, nice restaurants. Oh, here's another plus to Thailand. So Thailand just changed their laws this year that foreigners can buy homes there. Until this year, Thailand was like the Philippines, where foreigners couldn't buy a property. Now, in both Thailand and the Philippines, you could buy condos, but you couldn't buy, a house that's attached to land. The only caveat to that in the Philippines was that I think foreigners could buy commercial property. So if you're buying commercial property, then yes, you could own something there. But otherwise, the only thing you could buy in the Philippines was condos. Same thing with Thailand until this year. They changed the law. So if you actually want to buy a home and you're still a single man, then Thailand might be the place to go for you. Whereas Philippines is probably, I think, better for someone who has a family, and their spouse is a Filipina, because she'll be the one who the house would be in her name so that you guys can buy it, but you can still buy condos or whatever. Uh, Let me check something. It's getting late. Uh, the fact that you have to misspell the N word shows that you're not even black. So you can be off my channel. Peppermint area says, yes, I have some friends that have one there. They think I should do it. They rent them out to vacationers. So they turned their places into B2B. I mean, into, um, B&B, Airbnb. Sergeant says, I see. Thanks for the info. No problem. Um, yeah, like, as far as food, I think they're equal. Um, but Thailand has notorious for the good street food, and well, in Bangkok, I can't speak for the other cities like Phuket and Pattaya and the cities in the north. But yeah, Bangkok is known for its street food. Philippines too, but not in Manila. I think. Tell me if I'm wrong here, Mahal, but I think Cebu is known for its street food. Because remember, even on that Netflix show, we have Street Foods Asia. When they went to the Philippines, they went to Cebu, not to Manila. So I'm guessing Cebu is more known for their street food. But I find them equal. Like the food, Thailand, Philippines. What's a good city to look into? Well, if you talk about the Philippines, anywhere in Metro Manila. So Metro Manila is actually 26 different cities, like or 20 or like 24 cities and two municipalities, something like that. Manila City is only one of them. We lived in Mandaluyong, which is like sort of in the middle of Metro Manila, and it's considered the shopping district of the country because like it has the biggest amount of like shopping malls with within that one city. Like the biggest malls like Mega Mall and all that sort of stuff. Like these malls are huge, no diddy. But yeah, it depends. So it depends on what your budget is, Sergeant, and so if you have a nice budget, you might want to live like BGC, uh, which is like a really nice area. It's sort of like their equivalent of Midtown Manhattan, or Beverly Hills is BGC. Also Makati. Well, depending on what area Makati, because most people think Makati is a nice place. There's only certain parts of Makati that is nice. Not all of it is. Like the place near us was part of Makati that was close to where we live. Not that great. Um, but yeah, Makati, BGC, Taguig. There's parts of Manila City that's nice. Um, there's other parts of like generally anywhere within Metro Manila, you'll be fine. You'll They have these really lofty condos. So Mrs. Contrarian says Makati, Mandaluyong, and BGC in Metro Manila. Yeah, I agree. Those three are the best places I think for an expat to live. And she says, "Yep, Cebu has better street food." I thought so. I prefer Mandaluyong personally, just because I like being around all those different malls. Like our condo was one of those uh, live-in um, lifestyle situations where you live, where the condo is situated within a shopping mall. Let me see what the missus. Thank you for banning it. I get so tired of people saying that, Mahal. Um, but yeah, I prefer Mandaluyong personally out of the three. One, Mandaluyong is more affordable than BGC, which I don't have a problem with spending more if I can afford it. But like I said, Mandaluyong is where all the big shopping malls are, except for Mall of Asia, which is in Pasay. Well, was it Pasay or Pasig? I always get those confused. But most of the malls are concentrated right there in Mandaluyong. So that's where I prefer of all the those three places within Metro Manila. But mind you, there's like 20 plus cities within Metro Manila. But for like an expat, I would just keep it simple. One of those three: Makati, Mandaluyong, or BGC. Ms. Contrarian also says Cebu, Davao, and Dumaguete in the southern part of the country. Yep, they're all safe places to live. Davao is in Mindanao, but it's the safest part. It's like very safe. Anywho, guys, it is over 12, so I'm about to go. In case you guys have any other questions, you can leave it in the comment section. Any thoughts you had, questions, queries, that sort of thing. Leave it in the comment section, please. And if you haven't, give us a like and a subscribe. And check me out. I usually do live streams around this time of day, somewhere like in the late evening. Usually not this late though, but sometime later on in the evening. Mrs. Train has got to go too, because like I said, she needs to clean all her hiking equipment. And I'm gonna drop the second part of her travel after this video ends. But was anyone else about to say something before I go though? Going once, going twice. Well, all right, guys. So I'm gonna check out here. Um, Mahal, did you see this plaque in my previous videos? I don't know if. Oh, so this is a plaque of my grandfather. He fought in the Korean War in infantry at that. I thought you had saw it. And then right next to it, forget the Obama picture, right over there, two of my uncles, my grandmother's brothers, Uncle William and Uncle James, they they're veterans as well. I think one was Navy and the other one was, I believe, Air Force. And then my uncle's crazy ass is on the other wall, who was Navy. My Uncle Ben, his crazy ass is on the wall too. Anywho, I'm gonna go, Mahal, so you can go ahead and go start fixing up your equipment. I know I don't want to keep you up too late. I mean, not too late. It's late me for me, but I mean, I don't want to keep you from fixing up your hiking equipment. I was gonna say if you could, while you were cleaning the equipment, if you wanted to like um, redo that video. I didn't know if you were gonna redo the video from scratch or you just were gonna re-edit the original. But I'll leave that to you to decide. I'm gonna go eat something before I go to bed. Guys, like I said, please like and subscribe and share. Might start from scratch, okay. Like I showed snippets of your original video on my YouTube shorts. I don't know if you caught that, but the original video I've taken like snippets of it and put it on my YouTube shorts. But all right, I'll let you go. I'm getting tired. Um, oh, you just finished cooking. So now I'm even. Now I'm hungry. You just finished cooking. All right, I would go. All right, baby. Um, I'll talk to you after I get off this live, and I'm gonna upload your other video. But guys, thanks for rocking with us. Like I said, if you guys have any thoughts or questions or concerns or comments, put it in the comment section as soon as I upload this. All right. Thanks. Thank you.